sloth bear, nature's own termite vacuum. This bear has one obsession on the menu: termites. Thousands of them in a single sitting. Its mouth evolved specifically for the job. A sloth bear can seal its nostrils shut and pucker its lips into a narrow tube, then draw insects straight out of a mound like a shop vac. In parts of India, hunters claim they can hear a sloth bear slurping from more than 100 meters off. Home range: the forests of India, Nepal, and Sri Lanka. Look for a shaggy black coat, a pale chest marking shaped like AV, and claws stretching 8 centimeters, curved and strong enough to tear a termite mound open in moments. The name suggests something docile, but sloth bears are anything but. In certain Indian regions, they injure more people than tigers do. Poor eyesight, a hair-trigger temper, and a habit of standing their ground rather than fleeing make this a 130-kilogram insect hunter with almost no patience. Sun bear, the smallest member of the bear family. Fully grown, they weigh only 25 to 65 kilograms, roughly the size of a large dog. Where most bears loom over a person, a sun bear barely clears your knee. That compact frame hides an odd advantage, though: a tongue up to 25 centimeters long, longer than its own head. It uses that tongue to pull honey from hives, insects from rotting wood, and grubs out of holes no other bear could reach. A pale, crescent-shaped patch marks the chest, gold or orange, and it's where the species gets its name. Southeast Asian folklore likens a marking to a rising sun. Its range covers tropical forests in Borneo, Sumatra, and the Malay Peninsula. It's nocturnal, solitary, and critically endangered. A bear you could fit under your arm, with a tongue longer than its face. Spirit bear, an American black bear, only white, not albino. This is a Kermode bear, a black bear subspecies found solely in British Columbia's Great Bear Rainforest. About 1 bear in 10 carries a recessive gene that bleaches the coat to cream. Same species, same skeleton, same diet, just a different color. The Tsimshian and Hautsa peoples regard the bears as sacred, and kept their existence quiet from European settlers for generations, worried the animals would be hunted down. The pale coat turns out to be a hunting tool. Salmon looking up from underwater struggle to spot a white shape against the bright sky. Research suggests spirit bears land roughly 30% more fish than their black-coated relatives during salmon runs. Only around 400 exist, confined to a single stretch of rainforest on the Canadian coast. A ghost hiding in the open. Moon bear, also known as the Asiatic black bear, named for the sharp white crescent on its chest. A clean, moon-like shape set against dark fur, the most striking marking of any bear species. Moon bears are also the best climbers among bears. Adults will scale trees 20 meters up to feed, sleep, or dodge a threat, helped by forelimbs that are longer and more muscular than most bears. While other species climb mainly as cubs, moon bears keep at it their whole lives. They range across China, Japan, Korea, India, and Southeast Asia. Sadly, their bile is prized in traditional medicine, and that demand has devastated wild populations. Thousands live out their lives on bile farms. Fewer than 50,000 remain free. A tree-dwelling bear carrying a moon on its chest. Spectacled bear, South America's only bear, living in the misty cloud forests of the Andes across Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, and Bolivia. Steep terrain near constant fog, plants stacked in vertical bands. Its body fits the landscape. Strong climbing limbs, a stocky frame, and a short snout built for tearing into bromeliads and palm hearts. The name comes from pale rings circling at eyes, like a pair of glasses, and every individual wears a different pattern, letting researchers identify specific bears the way we'd read fingerprints. It's the most plant-reliant bear alive, roughly 95% vegetation. Bromeliads, fruit, cactus, palm hearts, with the occasional cow taken when food runs short. They even weave sleeping platforms into trees, sometimes 15 meters above the ground. Paddington, as it happens, was written to have come from darkest Peru. This is almost certainly the bear the author pictured, a forest spirit of South America that builds its own treehouse. American black bear, the most adaptable bear alive, found in 41 to 50 U.S. states, throughout Canada and down into Mexico. Forest, mountain, swamp, suburb, dumpster, it manages all of it. Its population is estimated above 800,000, more than every other bear species combined. The name is a bit misleading. It's an American black bears show up in black, brown, cinnamon, blonde, and even the white spirit bear variant. The species is defined by build, not by color. They're remarkably clever problem solvers, with documented cases of black bears popping open car doors, cracking supposedly bear-proof trash cans, and learning a specific homeowner's feeding schedule, then remembering a good food source for years afterward. Despite the reputation, black bears rarely attack people unless cornered or protecting cubs. Essentially a 200-kilogram raccoon with a long memory. Giant panda, technically a carnivore, yet its diet is 99% plant matter. Its gut is still built like a meat-eater's, short intestines, no dedicated fermentation chamber for breaking down vegetation. And yet it eats bamboo almost around the clock, roughly 14 hours a day, consuming up to 38 kilograms of it, because digestion is so inefficient. Constant eating is the only option. About 80% of what goes in comes out undigested. Pandas also have a false thumb, a modified wrist bone acting like an extra opposable digit, ideal for gripping bamboo stalks. It's not a true thumb and evolved on its own path. Pandas grip food the way a person grips a hammer. They live in the cool bamboo forests of central China. The wild population, once estimated around 1,000 in the 1980s, has recovered to roughly 1,900 thanks to conservation work. A carnivore that gave up meat for a plant it can barely process, and somehow thrives anyway. Grizzly bear, a symbol of North American wilderness. A mature male can weigh around 360 kilograms, and standing upright reaches 2.4 meters. It can sprint at 56 kilometers per hour, quicker than a horse over a short distance. The grizzly is a brown bear subspecies, named for the silvery-tipped fur that gives a grizzled look. Distinguishing features include a muscular shoulder hump built for digging, claws up to 10 centimeters long, and a dished facial profile. Its diet covers salmon during spawning runs, berries by the kilogram, roots dug from frozen soil, elk calves, and, where available, garbage. Grizzlies once roamed across the whole western half of North America. Hunting and habitat loss has since squeezed them into isolated pockets, leaving roughly 1,500 in the lower 48 states. It isn't just a bear. It's the bear the other bears are wary of. Kodiak bear, the largest brown bear on Earth, a subspecies confined to the Kodiak archipelago off southern Alaska. Cut off from mainland bear populations for around 12,000 years, that isolation produced giants. Mature males routinely reach 600 kilograms, some hitting 700, and stand over 3 meters tall on their hind legs. The heaviest ever recorded weighed 751 kilograms, heavier than any wild polar bear on record. That size comes down to abundance. Kodiak Island offers dense salmon runs, rich vegetation, and almost no competition or human pressure. The bears essentially spend their lives eating, hibernating, and getting bigger. Around 3,500 Kodiak bears live on the islands, at some of the highest population densities of any bear, roughly 1 bear per 1.5 square kilometers. Take an ordinary brown bear, give it 12,000 years of ideal conditions, and this is what you get. Polar bear, the largest land carnivore alive. Adult males weigh between 350 and 700 kilograms, with the heaviest on record topping 1,000. Standing on its hind legs, a polar bear reaches 3.3 meters, taller than any NBA player who's ever suited up. Every part of its body is designed for cold and ice. Its fur isn't actually white. Each hair is a hollow, transparent tube that scatters light, while the skin beneath is black to soak up solar heat, insulated further by an 11-centimeter layer of fat. Polar bears can detect a seal from over a kilometer away, through a meter of solid ice. They're capable of swimming continuously for 9 days straight, covering hundreds of kilometers between ice flows. Arctic sea ice is retreating at roughly 13% per decade, steadily removing the hunting platform this predator depends on. The most powerful hunter on land. Its only real problem is that the ground beneath it is disappearing.